I'm worried it's going to make me cough, but I want one in a sec.
Yeah, that looks like a
I
wet
think
thirsty.
I'll cough it then. Oh, thanks anyway.
That's do you want it?
She said no.
Oh, I thought you said yeah.
Hello and welcome back to episode 5 of the Lux Girl group chat. Guys, can you believe this is our 5th episode?
I know, it's gone
flying
so
by.
fast.
Isn't it? I think we're going to have to do something on our 10th.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, for
definitely.
sure.
Oh my god, yeah, like a challenge. A game.
Yeah, perhaps. So this week we're joined by Hattie and Bea.
Hi guys.
How are we?
Good.
Yeah, I'm good.
The clocks have gone forward, which I'm so excited
yeah,
about.
me too.
I mean, I'm feeling a bit sleepy when I wake up, but to have light evenings now in London is
Oh my
just
God, it's
How
so
happy
good.
does it make you? Like
Yeah.
leaving the office and it's still
Yeah.
light is so nice.
It's just so many more hours to be productive.
Yeah,
for
you
sure.
feel so much happier.
Yeah.
I'm moving into spring fashion, which, by the way, we need to talk about the outfit.
Yes.
Yes.
Because
We're so
yes,
excited this week, aren't we?
We have been very kindly dressed by Ukes, which, if you guys don't know, is basically the same group as Net-a-Porter, and they literally stock so many designers from like Ganni to New Balance, Off-White, literally everything, but at discounted prices. So it's such a hack if you want all of those
So
really cool
good.
brands. But
So should we go through what we're wearing?
Yeah.
So I've got this really cool blue bomber jacket on, and everyone knows I love a bomber jacket. It's like a dark teal.
It's like
I'd say it's more of a
navy.
teal
Yeah,
shade.
yeah. It's like
Yeah.
a dark blue, yeah.
With like some burgundy and blue like stripes around the cuffs, and then it's got this really cool like yellow sticker on
It's like
the
a varsity lettering.
yeah. And I just think the yellow looks really cool with the blue.
Yeah.
And it's also like, I'm sitting down right now so you can't see it, but like it's the perfect bomber shape.
It
It's
really
such
is.
a
It
cool
looks so
oversized
cool.
shape. I absolutely love it. It's also really nice and warm. Really warm right now. Which is always good. And then I've got these pale blue jeans on, which are so comfy. And I also really struggle to find like the perfect
So
shape
do I. And
jeans.
I put
Yeah.
these on and they fit like a glove.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, I literally thought the same. And they're soft and they're just like a really cool, I feel like for summer they're such a cool colour. And then I've also got some lovely fluffy cloggy style shoes on, which
so
just look
cool.
really
Those
cool
are my
with them.
favourite, I
cute.
think.
I
of
love
that.
Our
them.
foot
Yeah.
game is quite strong
Yeah, I
today.
know,
though.
it's
Yeah.
actually.
I absolutely love them. They're also so comfy. They're just so cute.
They're
Love
great,
them.
and those are 8 by Ukes, so they're from Ukes' own
They're
brand.
their own brand,
which is
yeah.
so
Yeah,
cool.
and 8 by
Yeah.
Ukes is so affordable as well.
Yeah.
So you must check
Yeah, I
it
think
out.
the these clogs are like
They're under £40 or something.
Yeah, really good.
God, they're getting
I
on
know,
my
I
bus.
really want.
Yeah,
So
love
I'm
them.
wearing, I think it's a Marc Jacobs oversized baby pink blazer.
That's so cool.
Really cute. And then I have got the coolest jeans on. They're paisley, light blue with a paisley print all the way down the leg. I just feel like
I think
They're
these
so
jeans are so
cute.
big at the moment, like this kind of
Yeah.
style. With
for a
this print
summer
is so
for a
big.
summer staple, I think these are so easy.
Absolutely
So
love
nice. New Balance 510. I've got the pink ones on. Sapna's got the sort of beige ones
Twinning.
on.
I know, twinning. They're
So
so
cute.
fun.
And I've got a graphic tee on as well.
I love that.
Yeah,
we love a
they're
graphic
really
tee at the
cool.
moment.
We
don't
do.
Sapna, what are you wearing?
I'm wearing this amazing set. Listen, it's probably pajamas, but I'm wearing it as matching separates. By 8 by Coco Capitan or Capitano, I think. But yeah, it's just so fun,
So
and it's
cute.
like lightweight. I love the colour, and it's got really nice like embroidery and like.
Yeah, the
little-
embroidery is really
it's
cute.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I mean, you
Like-
could wear it as pajamas, but
Yeah.
you can also wear it out.
You pull it off.
Yeah,
Thanks.
definitely.
Hattie, what are you wearing?
I am wearing this off-white navy blazer, and it's like not really pinstriped, is it? Yeah, pinstripe
Yeah.
down one side, and then block colour on one side.
So cool.
I
Um,
love that. What's it like at the back? Is it half and
It's
half?
got the off-white by Virgil
yeah,
thing
I
at the
love
back.
Really cool. I love that.
Moschino tee, and then this pastel yellow Ganni jeans, which
just pull off
Ganni
colour so
jeans
well.
are so comfortable.
Are
Like
they?
so comfy. I'm
never tried them.
obsessed.
They're really nice.
And also Ganni loafers
Yeah,
with
they
these.
are.
How cute is the
They're
little
so
diamante button?
Oh my God,
on
they're
the
so
side?
That
cute.
they couldn't be more you.
I
I
know,
know.
they're
I'm
so
obsessed. I actually don't have any loafers.
Do you not?
No.
I feel like you'd be such a loafer.
Yeah,
But I
I'm
feel
so
like this
shocked.
has really like convinced me that I need a pair.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're
I
so
love
cute.
that.
Well, thank you, Ukes, for dressing us. We are so happy with our
Yeah,
outfits,
so-
and we will link them all in the description below.
So we shall.
So what's everyone been up to? Bea, you've been in Berlin.
Oh,
Yeah.
I had a
Yes.
nice weekend in Berlin.
Can you fill us in?
Yeah, I was like looking it up before, and I was like, oh, it looks quite like grey. Like I thought it was going to be really cold and grey, and like I literally thought it was such a cool place. Like I want to go back. Annoyingly, I was ill halfway through it, so I feel like I want to go back and like explore it more. But the shopping was insane.
Yeah.
Like all the shops were so much cooler than in
Yeah.
England. Like everything was like really ahead and like I don't know, really cool. And the food was I didn't know Berlin was like a food place. I thought the
no
food was
wonder.
amazing.
So where did you
Was
eat?
it?
What did you have?
I don't think we went to like a a traditional
Right, yeah,
Berlin
right.
restaurant. But it was just like, I feel like if you walk around London or Paris, you will stop at like random restaurants as you're walking around in the day, and they'd normally be touristy and like quite like shit.
really busy.
But the like quality of everywhere was so good, and also they do breakfast really well. Like everywhere does porridge with like incredible toppings and
I
things.
love that. And I need to
so
know,
much.
did you get into Berghain?
Oh my god, no.
Wait,
No, we didn't try. I was ill. We didn't try.
Is this that club that like
Yeah.
really like
Yeah.
infamous?
Yeah. With the
It's
famous
really
bouncer.
hard
The
to get
bouncer
into.
has like an Instagram account, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I
and
didn't
they
know
also
that.
have an Instagram account for the queue because it's such a long queue.
But guys, I got into Berghain.
Stop.
You have?
Did you?
Yeah, I've been to Berghain. I know.
I think-
Aren't they
amazing?
really
Yeah, it was
like
insane.
they see if you can
Yeah,
speak
we
German
basically
and
did not
stuff?
speak in the queue. It was quite
I'm
a
so
long
annoyed
queue, and was
Denzel.
kind of off the cuff. We were like, let's just go.
Yeah, I love
and
that.
yeah, I got straight in. But I feel like we didn't overthink it, you know?
It was
Yeah.
only 10 minutes from our apartment. I wanted to so badly. Like, we'd been out all day and I was feeling like iller and iller and iller. And then we got home and I was just like, have a shower, you'll feel refreshed. In the shower, I was like, I'm dying. I was like, maybe pull this together. You have one like one night left. And then I couldn't. I got out and I was like, no, I need to go to bed.
Oh, bless you.
So I need to go back to Berlin. But I thought I didn't buy anything, but I thought the shops were so cool.
Yeah.
Like I was
Well,
really
I think we need to
inspired by
put
all the
this
fashion.
Copenhagen. You've had a few city breaks. So we
Copenhagen,
we used to
yeah.
do
Yeah.
Do the
Yeah,
little
beach
black
club.
book.
Yeah.
That'd be
But
so
I thought,
cool.
interestingly, I thought the shopping was better in Berlin than it was in Copenhagen.
Really?
Oh, okay. Well, then it.
And the vintage shops were like were better.
Oh my God, I have
found.
to go there.
So like there was loads of vintage designer shops
Yeah.
with really cool bits in it, like one-off pieces. Whereas I found in Copenhagen it was more, I don't know.
You had to really hunt.
You had to look
Yeah.
more,
Yeah.
And
Whereas
if-
there it was more
and-
selected.
Exactly.
It was more
And I only had a few days in Copenhagen. If I had longer, I think you'd have more time to sort of thrift
yeah.
through.
Yeah.
But you done a TikTok? Because Hattie is great on Hattie's personal TikTok.
Yeah.
She goes through all the
Thanks,
vintage,
So good.
all the vintage stores around the world.
Yeah, I feel like
Yeah.
you'd be in your
I
element
worked
there.
my
You
way
need
around
to go.
Europe.
Yeah,
You did Paris, didn't you?
I did Paris.
and London, and then...
And Milan, I still
yes.
have a few more. I'm doing those like shop by shop because I did quite a lot.
Where's
and
your
I did some in
favourite?
Lisbon. Paris. I
Yeah.
mean, just because it's Paris.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I
There's
trust
so
you. And
the
much.
designers, I feel like that they'd have.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they'd
but
have the
also
best
like
in
they
it.
have designer and they also have more affordable stuff as well in Paris. I feel like you can do
Pretty
both.
So stylish.
Whereas a lot of cities you go and it's either like Milan, some of them were just too expensive. Like didn't want to, blow my whole budget on one thing. I wanted like a few pieces.
For sure.
But yeah. Actually, yes,
I
maybe
love
change
how
my
when
mind,
you
maybe
do a
Milan.
city break, like it's so cool how every city has their own little vibe.
Yeah.
Like we got there and we sat outside at a coffee shop in Berlin, and I was like, it's so funny how different it would be if we were like, because we were in Copenhagen just before Christmas. I was like, it just the vibe of people
So
is like so
different.
like
Yeah.
how it creates like a whole different like fashion and everything.
So
Yeah.
Yeah,
true.
really
So fun.
Hattie, what
Yeah.
have you been up to?
I went out for my friend's birthday on Saturday, so Sunday I literally spent my whole day on the sofa. I was like, I am not moving. I just need a day because I've been away a couple of times this month. Like it's just been mad. So I have been watching Maths in my downtown.
too.
Are you watching
watching
it?
What's
this?
Yes.
Wait,
Did you watch last night?
Married at First Sight Australia. Yes,
so
I
can I
did.
just say-
Did you
I
just
did.
abbreviate it?
Maths,
what
that's
it's
what everyone
called.
calls it.
Everyone knows this, guys.
Oh my god, I'm
It's
so
Maths.
happy you didn't know.
I was like, maths.
Oh my
sounds
god,
awful.
this is the most I've been into it for
Same.
quite a while.
This
to the
season
point
is
where
mad.
I actually watched it live last night.
Did you? I
And
watched
I've
it just after live.
Never done that.
Well, why
For,
is it on
like-
really late when it's live?
No, it's on like at like 7:30.
Oh.
But usually I have like a few weeks to watch.
Yeah.
But I've caught up.
Oh,
I
wow.
So
watched
now
the
I'm
whole
watching it
thing at
real
the
time.
weekend, yeah.
That's all I did with my Sunday.
And
But
now it's
the
every
drama
day.
is just.
It's
The
crazy.
Australian one apparently
Crazy.
is like
This
so
is the
much
one we're
Oh my god!
watching.
Yeah, this is the Australian
okay,
one.
yeah,
That's the
So much
original.
better. It's so good. I mean, it does feel more like a reality show now than an experiment.
Yeah,
which
because
was
there's
kind
a
of
lot
the
more
point.
drama than.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
then that makes it more fun. to
Sorry if
watch.
this is a really stupid question, but which stage are they at? Like, they've got married and now are they having like the beef?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now they're
He's-
living together
Okay.
and doing like the challenges
Yeah,
and kind of
they're set like
getting to
tasks
know the other
every week.
couples.
They
And
have
then
a
do
big
they
dinner
then
party.
get with each other's
Well,
like husbands and wives?
in previous
Yeah.
years, there's been like
Cross it. There's always something. I think
Yeah.
there has been something this year.
I think we're gonna find out
really?
tonight.
We're gonna find
Oh my
out
god, I
tonight.
know.
it's
Yeah.
making me actually really quite
Yeah,
upset.
same. You get really attached to them.
I was close to crying last night. I was like, I actually, if what has happened is what I think has happened,
Yeah, I'd be very upset.
I'm just out of love with everything.
no.
There was quite 2 couples left last night as well. Every week they come together, all the couples with the experts, and they say like on a piece of paper, stay or leave.
But they're not allowed to tell
anyone
their
or
partner or anyone else what they're doing.
Exactly. And then, so basically, if both people say stay, they both stay. If one person says stay and one person says leave, they still stay. But there was 2 occasions last night where the experts were like, listen, we're throwing the rules out. If you want to leave, you can leave.
Yeah.
Because the couples
it
were
was
just
so
so
brutal.
bad. They were that
God, I
bad.
love it.
Like, it was just horrible.
Yeah.
I've got a really good recommendation. Has anyone seen Georgia Harrison's new documentary?
I haven't seen it, but I've had...
Yeah.
Okay, so basically Georgia Harrison, who was on Love Island, reality TV star, Georgia Harrison has been going through this horrendous court case with Stephen Bear, who was an ex-partner of hers. He filmed them having sex, put it on OnlyFans without her consent, and she then discovered this video had basically gone worldwide. It's being sold onto all these other platforms, and Bear just denied. She called him out publicly on her Instagram saying, you know, this is me, and I don't know why Bear's denying it's me. It was in his garden, we had sex, he filmed it without me knowing, and is now profiting from it on OnlyFans.
Oh my God, that is so messed up.
And that is revenge porn. That is a crime.
Yeah.
And people can be done for this. And I don't know why he ever thought he was going to get away with this with his public persona that's already really
Sketchy.
awful.
Yeah. And why would he need to, like, do you not...
Well, I think
It
he
was
got
revenge.
himself.
It was...
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
revenge. Yeah. The whole documentary is amazing because her mum and her they were such a team throughout the whole thing. And basically her mum set up this email address when it first got released, and they did a public outreach to be like, if anyone's heard anything or seen it anywhere, please email this address. The mum was just flooded with all of these emails, and they realised actually the scale of it.
Yeah.
So they were using this, obviously compiling all this evidence in the hope that they could, you know, get him done for this. In the documentary, she reveals the voice notes that Bear sent her. And so everything is documented. I mean, he's such a fool.
That's so interesting.
And he was basically saying, it's not you, Georgia, like, you're crazy, like, you're going to regret this. So she basically just kept going with this court case. He's basically just been jailed for 21 months, which,
It's not actually that
it's
long.
not even that much. But what I love about the documentary is the fact that it shows men and women that if you are going through this kind of thing or have experienced this, it is not okay, and you should keep going and keep speaking about it.
Yeah.
And so brave of her to share the story and just
Yeah.
But
literally
I
share
think-
everything and not do it anonymously, because she had the choice
Yeah.
to do that in court, but she wanted to share
Yeah,
it publicly.
yeah.
So
I mean,
that other
so
people-
brave.
Yeah.
But he was being so awful. I mean, before the court trial, he was putting on his Instagram, like, what suit shall I wear? Pink.
And have you seen the
gross.
videos
Oh my
of
God,
them
that's so
outside
bad.
the...
Getting selfies with
whatever.
people.
Oh my God,
Yeah,
what a
and then people,
horrible
the
person.
interviewers are there like, do you feel bad? Are you going to apologise? He's like...
Doesn't
he
say
he has
anything.
no
Do you think now
remorse.
he
doesn't-
feels bad?
I think he
Probably.
still
He just
doesn't think he's
care.
done anything
Oh my
wrong.
God, that's-
And what was so horrendous for Georgia, I think the stress of it, she said as soon as that video got released, she lost everything. She lost, obviously, all the brands dropped her. She lost everything.
That's so unfair.
It's
Like, what?
so
Like,
And the stress, she developed a cyst in her ovaries that then burst from the stress, and that she went into septic shock, so she nearly died from the whole ordeal of the stress. But yeah, I mean, really worth a watch.
Yeah.
I'll link it below.
Awful.
Slightly work related, but it was an extracurricular activity. We went to the
Oh, you're looking at me. I was like,
yeah, what? Because we went to the coolest supper club last week.
Yes, tell us about
And it was on our
cool.
most recent Lux Girl vlog, so if you haven't watched the vlog, I suggest you go and watch it.
Yeah, it looks so cool.
But it was hosted by Georgia Hearn, who does the Lux Girl recipes.
Yeah.
Yes.
She's actually giving us a new recipe next week, so stay
Yes.
tuned on our Instagram for that. She co-hosts it.
Yeah.
And we weren't really sure what to expect.
No.
I'd been to a supper club before. I don't know if you guys have ever been to a supper club.
No,
I had
haven't.
never. And also because we were invited, I thought it was more of like a press event where it would be like a long table
Yeah.
and lots of
What
people.
is a supper club?
So you pay for a set menu. Sometimes the booze is included, sometimes it's not, and it's sort of basically a tasting menu. And this was very spring summer themed, so it was sort of current produce like rhubarb, and I mean
Yeah,
some of the it was just incredible.
So rather than it being the restaurant's food, they like use a space
Yeah, they
and then a chef
exactly.
will come in.
And they'll do.
so
you would have
nice.
loved the table scopes. You know,
it was
Baloo.
so
I saw them on your,
pretty.
yeah.
So
So
Baloo is a
pretty.
really nice interiors company to do
my
placemats,
God,
and they
they're
match
so
the
nice.
placemats with the recipe
and
cards.
I really want their coasters. Apparently, they're coming back in stock next week. They're really pretty colourful
So nice.
coasters.
We'll
And then
link those
napkins were like the little scallop
Oh,
edge.
don't.
So yeah, there was
Heaven.
lovely tall candles, and actually we were seated at the top of the restaurant, but I went downstairs to go to the loo, and there were these long tables full of more groups of people, and it was all dim lighting, lovely candles. So if you went with a group of friends,
Yeah.
Really nice.
Yeah.
Or on a date night. We were basically on a date night.
Yeah,
It was
it
just
was.
the two of
It
us on a
looked like
little
you were on a
table.
date night.
It was so
we were just
sweet.
chatting away for hours, and honestly, the service was insane.
nice.
Georgia, you absolutely nailed
Yeah,
it.
it was insane.
I
We
love
just
that.
more and more food kept
Yeah,
coming.
it was like 4 starters, 4 mains, and they're really nice dessert.
And do you like mingle? Is it like everybody
We did not
talks
mingle.
No, we were on our own little table of 2. But
They
if
were
you
quite
if
close
you were on
to
the
that.
longer tables,
Yeah.
I'm sure
Yeah.
you would have
Because
mingled.
it sounds like it should be like a supper club. I feel like
I think that probably is the vibe, but I think everyone was kind of in their own little group.
everyone was just
Yeah.
happy. Yeah.
But we must
So
all go back
cute.
together.
So how do you find out where the supper clubs? Like, how do you?
So they have an Instagram
Yeah,
and they
they
release
post it.
they're like the venue. It's going to be at this venue and we're going to release 3 nights. So stay tuned. And they
But
basically.
is it a supper club page or is it like
Yes.
chefs will?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
But this is just 2 individual caterers that have set it up. But there's obviously loads of other supper
Yeah.
clubs around London and.
Oh my
all
god, can we do
sorts.
one? They sound
Yeah,
so
we
good.
should.
And it was only
Definitely
down the
should.
road from
I
us.
know.
Oh yeah, it's really close to you.
Yeah.
So that was fun. And we also filmed a really fun TikTok in the office.
Yes, we did.
It's going
We were
live
working-
today.
Oh,
yeah.
I was like, was I in the... Oh, yes, I was.
So by the time everyone's listening to this, it will have gone live.
Oh,
and
today.
it was our collaboration with Pizza Hut Deliver.
Guys,
It was
how
good
iconic
vibes.
is
It
that?
was so good. I was honestly like, never in my life did I think I'd be in a Pizza Hut ad.
Honestly,
And
But-
guys, can I say?
yeah, I was gonna say, Daisy.
Can I say something? I've come full circle because
Yeah.
I used to work at Pizza Hut.
Did you? Oh,
So
did
for
you
me,
not
this
know
was a career moment.
Yeah, I
Career
mean, that's
highlight.
sick. That's sick.
I used to fill that salad bar up with Thousand Island
Oh
sauce.
my God,
now,
obsessed.
Oh my god. No, but they were
Looking out.
actually so yummy. Like I was just eating and eating
they're
and
the
They
eating.
were
Eating
so
melts.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
everyone
were.
in the office was so happy as soon as we finished filming. Everyone was like, onto the
It was
pizza.
so good.
So good.
But that was really fun actually.
Yeah, that was so
Yeah, that
fun.
was so fun. Although I'm really bad, I realised doing slow mo. It's really hard to do in normal
Oh
time.
my god, B, you
He was trying to do the slow mo.
and I said, "Hang on, B, we put the slow mo effect on."
and then she was still like,
I was like
moving
acting.
and- yeah.
It was so good.
I could not get my head around it.
We have actually also filmed the BTS of that on our vlog, so if
Oh,
you want
yeah.
to see that, go check it
Brilliant.
out. We're now going to move on to our next segment, which is the hot list, which is slightly new, but we do actually do this on site on the Lux Girl Hub.
Yeah.
But this is now bringing in a bit of celeb gossip, a bit of what's in the news, because we love talking about this. And we have to start Harry Styles and EmRata. I am just upset. I never thought he could give me the ick, and I have the ick from Harry Styles. I never thought those words would come out my mouth.
Well, personally, I think the girl's got a great track record. In the last
Oh, yeah.
7
God.
months, she's
Yeah.
been since she filed
Yeah,
the
but so-
divorce. She's
yeah.
had about 8 guys.
I know. I mean,
Yeah.
she's living
One
her
every
best
month.
life.
She's
Yeah.
living her
I'm
best life.
here
Yeah.
for
Pete
that.
Davidson. I don't know who that other guy was.
There was the comedian.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah.
with the yeah.
There was Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt,
supposedly.
Yeah, it's
do you think
rumoured.
do you think that was true?
I mean, I wouldn't be
Imagine.
They
surprised.
were
I'd be
seen out
surprised.
in Paris together, which I'm like, I really hope it's true.
Yeah.
How iconic.
She is winning at life, really.
Oh my
I
God,
know.
she is.
She's
But
living her best.
Why did
single
he
life.
have his eyes open?
Why did he have his eyes
Oh my
open?
God, I did not see
Why
this.
did a man bum?
Like, I've heard everyone saying this, and I literally watched the video about it. How can you see it in that detail? Like, the
Yeah,
video
what?
is so
The quality
pixelated.
is
it's
so
something called
bad.
zoom beam.
Yeah. Also,
No,
but
but
even
you can't. It's so square. Like, it's not.
no, but even aside from the eyes being open, it was just so awkward.
It looked really
The
awkward.
kissing
Yeah.
was
But I
really
kind
weird.
of thought she looked. I thought they both looked.
They both
awkward.
did. They are literally the 2 hottest people on earth,
Literally.
and
And it
they
just
look
wasn't
so
right.
cringy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it wasn't right.
Oh, I think.
I mean,
I
good
don't
for
know.
them. Good for them.
I'm kind of
But
into
what?
it.
Same.
Like, I love
it's-
it for them.
Yeah.
It's a really random combination, though.
It is and it
I
isn't.
don't
Like,
know,
they're
like,
both so
They could both
attractive.
just choose whoever they want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Selena Gomez and Zayn Malik are dating.
Oh, I
Officially.
heard this.
Officially,
That's a
apparently.
cool combo.
Is this
Yeah.
I don't know if it's true, but that, you know, when like news, like gossipy news places are like allegedly, they're like
Yeah.
confirmed dating. Like
Oh, it's
Well,
so it
Although
is
I
that.
feel like you have to take everything
you
with a
have
pinch of
to,
salt
but
these
they
days.
never really
Yeah.
say that. Like there must be something.
Yeah.
But which
I think that's kind. Yeah.
I don't know. I
there's-
see it.
Yeah, there's been TikToks from like years ago of her being, or people asking like, who's your favorite One Direction person, and her being like Zayn.
No,
So that's quite
really?
cute. That's quite like
cute.
I think they'd be cute together. But also he's got a child,
But you
so that's
know-
like a.
Yeah,
But you know, Harry
true.
Styles did the same in a video. There
Yes!
was-
Oh,
video
yes,
10
I think I
years
said
ago.
that,
Yeah.
From like 8 years ago or something.
Yeah.
She's
They're
so
manifesting their relationships, and I
Yeah.
love that for them.
I didn't think any other fashion publication would want to work with Central C after he turned up to the red carpet event in a tracksuit set.
Oh,
I
yeah.
personally think that's so
But that's so
iconic.
him,
So
yeah.
iconic.
But who saw him and what was in his bag with
Yeah.
Dave? So when he pulled out the book
Oh my god.
that Madeline had given to him
Yeah.
by Ernest Hemingway, and he talks about Hemingway as if he's still
I
alive.
know.
Yeah, he was like, you should give me a cup.
Yeah.
And also he had chili rice crackers in his bag.
Yes. They were different brands to the one we got.
Yeah,
They were Lidl.
Were they?
Yeah.
Oh, but I saw that
But
straight
still,
away.
They were the Lidl dupe.
Yeah.
His dog is so cute as well.
It's
Oh my God.
Madeline's dog.
Oh,
Is it?
really?
Oh, did
Yeah.
they share it?
He was like, this is actually Madeline's dog.
Oh,
but
I
I just sort of like,
Oh my God,
he
I
didn't say
missed
co-parent, but you know what I mean. He like helped
But he
her look
was
after.
geeking over Madeline.
I know. It's the way he said
Yeah.
it. Madeline.
Madeline. Yeah, Madeline.
Madeline.
And also when he
So
was
sweet.
like, oh, she's just a friend that I have. I was
In
like,
London.
okay, cute
Oh.
for you guys.
And his tongue scraper as well. I thought that was
Oh
quite
yeah,
niche.
hygienic kiss.
I've never
niche.
tried one before, but
No,
apparently
me
I
neither.
think I have
Do
actually.
you think
I
it's
don't
something
use it on
we
the
need?
regs.
No,
Apparently
apparently it
it's
literally
really good.
changes your life.
Really?
Yeah. We should ask to our wellness editor what she thinks. Oh yes, the other thing I was going to say is Kim Kardashian was in the
Oh,
UK a few weeks ago, and she was just like, living her best like British
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
She went to an Arsenal game. She went to.
She went on the London Eye.
Yeah, she went.
Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, but
such a
she
tourist.
got Saka to give a cameo to her children.
Yes, on
Do
FaceTime.
you know, I was at Joe and the
Obsessed.
Juice last week, and
Yeah.
it was the day of the Arsenal game, and the whole Arsenal bus drove past
Really? Oh
Joe and the
God.
Juice.
Oh my God.
And my boyfriend was like, "That's the Arsenal team." I was like, "How do you even know?" It was like blacked out windows.
Oh no, but I love that.
What else
Yeah.
was she doing?
She went to a
She
pub.
went, yeah, she went to
Oh,
a
yeah, she
pub.
went to a pub.
But
Also,
then
I think
did you see that? So there was an image. So on her Instagram, she like put pictures
Yes.
of her drinking in the
because
pub.
it was St.
holding
Patrick's
the-
Day.
And
Oh,
then they
yeah.
showed like a zoomed out version of it, and she actually had like a whole like she made it look really cool and chilled, like she was just in this
Just
like
in the pub.
really like a normal London pub, and then they zoomed out and it was like a whole camera crew
Yeah,
like,
like-
staged it
Oh
all,
yeah,
like,
they must have been
lighting
filming for
everything.
Yeah.
Kardashians.
Yes,
Which
that's
brings us
right.
on to
Is that?
yes,
Yes.
the trailer
So we're
has
gonna
finally
see it.
dropped.
Yeah,
my God.
at the end of the last series, I was like, I think I'm kind of done.
No.
And now the trailers come out, I'm like,
Oh my God,
No.
I'm
back.
I've never watched it. So do you think is it too late? to jump
Oh,
on
no.
that?
It's
It's
never
never
too
too
late.
You
late.
just
Too
hop
late.
in wherever. That's
So
the
shall I hop
beauty
in?
of it.
I will say though, if you start it like now, you won't feel as connected to them, and like the things they do will make you be like, they're so annoying, they're
No,
irritating.
because I
Yeah.
feel
But
like
if
you
you've
know them
watched
so
it-
well anyway, don't you? Even if you haven't watched it, there's
No,
such a
I
big
do. I
feel like
don't
I know
know.
them.
the OG show is just
Yeah.
like so much better.
I feel like you then know them, and
I
you
think
don't.
It's my
Yeah.
favourite hangover TV is the
Is
Kardashians.
it?
I think because it's like always sunny there. Just like it.
Law Roach
Yeah.
has retired from being a stylist. Do you know who he
No.
is? So he's like a really big stylist
Yeah.
in, well, actually just globally, but he's
Yeah.
most well known for being Zendaya's stylist.
And
Oh,
he's
Yeah.
my God,
he's
yes,
dressed the biggest
yes.
sort of it girl.
biggest,
Yeah.
yeah, like not just
Yeah,
her,
yeah,
like
yeah,
loads
yeah,
of people.
yeah.
So he posted an Instagram post basically retiring from being a stylist, and people thought it was pretty cryptic because he did say it, or insinuate there was some drama attached to that, and everyone sort of tied that to the Louis Vuitton show. So him and Zendaya were attending. They were running late, apparently. This is all from TikTok, by the way. I'm not a credible source. So they were running late. They got there. Zendaya had a seat. She sat down. He was in front of her and sort of looked around, and you can see there's a video of this happening. There's not a seat for him in front row, which apparently that wasn't the reason why he retired, because he's been on a few podcasts since and spoken about
he said it wasn't. He also said, because I think people were then saying he was annoyed at Zendaya.
Yeah, which he was like, he smashed that straight away.
Yeah,
It was
completely.
like, no.
They're really good friends. They like they're still really close. And he was like, "This isn't the end for me and Zendaya. Like,
Yeah.
she's still in my life."
I feel like
Yeah.
this is what's so sad. People are so quick to jump on celebrities
Yeah.
Completely.
and create this sort of
A drama.
Drama.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
actually, I think maybe that it wasn't really a drama at all.
No.
And it's just that people
Well,
see
he just
one
said that
clip.
he was just running late. So
Yeah.
that's what,
Yeah.
like that's all there was, and now it's just been this
Yeah.
whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, but people also, the fact that he's retired, it has come a bit randomly, but
It was a bit strange. It was straight after the Oscars, and he dressed so,
Yeah,
many,
so
so
many
many people at the
people.
Oscars.
and the post was a bit cryptic. Like,
Yeah, he did say it was because of like
Politics.
the politics in the fashion world. So obviously there
Something.
have been things, but whether it was like one singular
No.
moment or it's just his work in the industry and he's like, I've actually had enough now.
Yeah,
This isn't
yeah.
for me.
But it seems like he's on to do other things now. Like he's going on these podcasts, he's doing
Yeah.
more like TV appearances, and maybe he's making more of himself as not just being
Yeah.
known as a stylist and more of like,
Well, within
Something
about
else.
24 hours or something crazy, he walked the Boss show
Yes,
in Milan.
really?
yeah, which
With
was
Naomi
sick.
Campbell,
It
and he
really
was like,
cool.
"This wasn't actually just like a publicity stunt. Like this had been
Yeah.
planned for months,
Yeah.
but it obviously came at that time, and
Yeah.
people were
Yeah.
like, how
But what do you think it is? Because he said something along the lines of, if it was just the dressing of the people, if it was just dressing people in clothes, I would do this forever. But
Yeah,
it's the
the
politics.
Oh,
politics.
I actually do have a theory because obviously certain people he works with will be affiliated with brands. So like Zendaya now is an ambassador for Louis Vuitton.
Yeah.
She's just signed with them. I think then he would be restricted in what because she'll only be wearing Louis
It's
Vuitton.
like the whole Margot Robbie thing, only being
Yeah.
able to wear Chanel, and then
And you're contracted for a certain amount of time, so I think his work would just be really restricted. So
Right.
maybe it's something to do with that.
Yeah.
I think.
I'm sure there's so much that goes on that we have no
Yeah,
clue
I'd love
about.
to know all
Definitely.
the like.
I know, I'd love to know.
behind
I'm
the-
sure one day he'll just be like, this is what happened, this
Yeah.
is what it was, because he seems quite open to talk about stuff.
Yeah, he really is actually.
But I wish him the best.
Yeah. I mean,
Good luck.
It's
Excited
not the
to
end,
see
is
what's
it,
to
of his
come.
career?
Yeah, for sure.
Does anyone have tickets to Taylor Swift's tour?
No, so it's not
No.
released. I posted something about it the other day because I was like, I can't believe I didn't get tickets because I'm like the biggest fan. But it's not actually released in the UK yet. So I'm like eagle-eyed watching for when it
waiting.
does.
So Taylor Swift's Eras tour is all over TikTok.
Yeah.
It looks incredible.
insane.
Firstly, who saw the security guard that went viral?
Oh my god, she was
Yes.
so
Oh,
cute.
so cute.
I
She was an
She was
icon.
living her best life.
Honestly.
And Taylor Swift did the most insane thing where there was a hole in the stage.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
She dived in to the hole,
about
and then it
this.
looked as if she was swimming
Swimming.
all the way along the stage.
So
And
cool.
I actually watched a behind the scenes of how she did it.
Oh really? I
So
haven't
she
seen
jumps
that.
down. It's like a big padded mat, and then it's on a roller. That then they
that's
pull her.
sick.
They
Oh
pull
wait,
her
so she's
through.
actually. I thought
Well,
it
no,
was like a.
That's a
Like an animation.
the imagery is an
Right, right, right.
animation, but they pulled her through, and that's how she was so quickly
looks like
able to
she's
pop
so
up.
Honestly, she is like I have actually seen her live before. She is the best performer. She thinks of everything. The way she speaks to the crowd, the way
Yeah.
she does. It's just so like thought out. And this especially is like for any Taylor Swift fan, this is the tour to go
Yeah.
to because it's every single album she's ever done. She sings 44 songs. It's 3 hours long. She has 15 costume changes. The production value, like everyone's like they're very expensive tickets, but it's worth it.
Yeah.
Like,
Wow,
that is worth
yeah. I
it.
saw her once when I was about 13, and it was so good.
She's just incredible.
Do you know I'm actually not?
I know not many people are. But it's just.
She's
Yeah.
just not. She's just not my vibe.
No,
I
I
get
get
that.
that. I get that.
Yeah.
But
I can appreciate.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
can
yeah.
appreciate.
Yeah.
and also I saw who saw the clip of Paul Love Story.
Yeah.
And when she got to pulled out a ring and said, and this guy,
Yes, people propose.
this guy proposed, and all these girls in the crowd that were filming the concert all then turned and filmed this
Oh,
girl.
that's so sweet.
That's so nice.
Could imagine.
I don't think I'd rate that proposal.
Oh my
though.
God.
No, I don't think I'd want to
No,
be
that's
posted
not
in the middle of a crowd.
But hats
But
off
if
to
you
him,
were a
'cause
Taylor
Yeah.
Swift fan, that's quite cute.
Oh
that
yeah,
he's,
I
like,
feel like
through.
if you're a big fan, that's,
Yeah.
Can you
Sorry,
imagine
I would
Taylor
actually
Swift?
love to know how you guys would like to be proposed to. I feel like that's such like an interesting.
Safari.
Oh my god! Do tell us.
We had that one ready to go.
Troy, if you're listening. No, I just
Safari
I
would
think
be a vibe. That
imagine
would be
in the
really
morning, like on a
sunrise.
beautiful sunrise with like a lovely picnic, like
Yeah.
on Safari.
Oh, I love that, Hattie.
And nothing less.
Troy, take note.
How about you? Have you ever thought about it?
I really don't know. Like my sister's had her whole wedding planned since she was like 12.
Yeah.
I've just never really been
That kind
into
of.
that. So I don't really
Tell you
know
what I would
to
love.
do.
On Christmas Day,
Oh,
like in
Oh,
your
that's
pajamas.
oh, that's
Oh,
really
that's
You
sweet.
go
really
to the
cute.
tree. There's a box. You open it. It's a ring.
But
Oh,
don't
I
you
like
think
that.
Christmas Day is such a good day anyway?
Yes, but it's just even better.
Oh, that's really sweet.
Also,
Maybe.
yeah, it's like a bit more low key, but it's still a big day.
Yeah, for sure.
Like my low-key
a
idea.
restaurant. A restaurant. Would
No,
not.
if it's in a
No,
restaurant,
no.
if it's like with loads of random people, like for example, say we're out in front of the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah.
An ice rink.
I
On an
oh,
ice
the-
rink.
Oh my god, no. Yeah, I need to be one-on-one. It needs to be an insane like atmosphere,
Yeah.
like place. Yeah.
Do you have a spot you
What's
would like
yours?
that?
Ryan, if you're listening. No, I don't actually know. I think it needs to be on holiday. But then I feel like every time I go on holiday, I'm gonna think I'm getting proposed to, so
Yeah.
you probably won't
I
do
think
that.
the nice thing about being on holiday is you're always going to have like your nails done and
That's
things like that, and you're
true.
going to have a good tan, like
That's
you'll be
true.
good.
Yeah.
No, I
I'm coming across
my friend
really well.
said to me once, we went to get our nails done together, and I always get quite bright colours, shock, and I was getting, I don't know, like a green or an orange or something, and she was like, oh, George is gonna have to tell me when he's proposing so that it makes sure that you get like a neutral colour. I was like, excuse me, just because I'm wearing a ring, my nails are not changing.
You need a photo, you need like a nice.
Yeah.
But actually,
look
that
like
would be so
me.
much more you. Yeah, if you had like a nice
yeah.
neon.
Can you imagine me with
Yeah.
like
It'd be like
ballet
it's a fake.
slippers?
French tips?
It's not my vibe, is it? You know.
Glazed donut. So next up, for the interview segment, I sat down with Jasmine Harrison, who at 21 years old was the youngest female to ever row solo across the Atlantic. And then she went and swam the length of the UK. I sat down and found out everything about it. I was so intrigued and quite blown away, actually. So yeah, hope you enjoy. So today I'm very excited. I'm joined by Jasmine Harrison, who at 21 years old rode solo across the Atlantic Ocean, which is 3,000 miles. She actually set a new record of becoming the youngest woman to ever complete a solo row across any ocean. And then she went on at 23 years old to become the first woman to swim the entire length of the UK, Land's End to John O'Groats. She's a huge inspiration for women, particularly young women, and I can't wait to find out more about her incredible achievements. So Jasmine, it's so good to have you on the sofa.
No, thanks for inviting me.
So I just want to start with, where on earth did you get your huge appetite for this adventure?
It was just more like an innate kind of like feeling that I knew I needed to do it, rather than like kind of getting the idea and everything. It was just that I wouldn't be happy unless I did it. I like to experience like all sorts, like just out there.
Let's start with the Land's End to John O'Groats challenge. So how did you embark firstly on the training?
Well, I've always swam, literally my entire life. I've been a swimmer since probably like age 12. I've been doing training like every single day. So I knew that I could swim. When I was 18, I did more travelling and then I was training for the row.
Yeah.
In the pool every day, but try and swim for longer. So I was trying to do like 4 to 6 hours at a time.
Wow.
Just because I know that I can swim, but I'm not used to like the distance.
Yeah.
I'm normally speed. And then as soon as it got warm enough outside, it was lake swimming.
Let's get to the challenge itself. How long were you in the water every single day and how long did it take you to complete?
So I was in the water for up to 12 hours, swimming with the tide. So I could swim for 6 hours and then rest for 6, swim for 6, rest for 6. And the entire thing took 110 days. We would go out for 4 or 5 days at a time, doing these 2 swims a day, and then we would need to like shelter because there was some bad weather that would come in. 50% of the time we spent waiting in harbour, restocking the boat, refilling with fuel and everything like that.
Refuelling yourself, probably.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of like rest myself and then get ready to go out again for another 4 or 5 days, come back in for another couple, out again.
What were the best moments of the swim?
It was getting to see places.
Yeah.
So I swam to the Isle of Man.
That's so
I'd never
cool.
been there before, and that was just stunning. And then Scotland and going through the Inner Hebrides, I
Yeah,
swam underneath the
amazing.
Skye Bridge. Yeah, to be able to say that I've swam this, like there's not many people ever that have swam there.
Let's move on to the rowing expedition because this one I'm just so excited to hear more about. So it's 3,000 miles, is that right? And you were solo
Yeah,
in a boat. How big was the boat?
21 foot.
What was the layout like on this boat?
In the back, at the stern, I had my cabin.
Yeah.
Which had like navigation equipment, radio, everything like that. The hatch is at a little bit of an angle.
Yeah.
And so you open the hatch and you're straight out onto deck. I had my life raft in front of there, and then a rowing position. There wasn't really much on deck.
Okay.
So I had my seat, which is a movable seat, and that's
Yeah.
clipped on. My oars are tied on. My life raft strapped down. Other than that, on the deck, there's not really anything else. I have hatches down by the side of me, which is filled with food. So everything is all sealed because you do go over, and you don't want to fill the boat
Did
with
you go
water.
over?
Yeah.
How many times?
Twice. So the first time was like during the day, and I didn't go the full way around. Like it went over enough to tip me in the water, and then the boat flipped back up the way it came. The second time was at night, and it went over, like all the way over.
And were you awake?
I was in the cabin, so I was trying to sleep, and it woke me up. That went over really fast, like all the way over because the wave was so big. Like I went at 19.2 knots.
That's
which
quick.
is really fast.
Yeah.
Down with the wave. But the one during the day, like it was enough to turn me upside down, but wasn't. It took a while to turn back over because it wasn't strong enough to go a full 360. So it was knocked down, and me swimming, and then came back up.
What was life like at sea? So what was a normal day? Like how long were you rowing for? How often were you resting?
So
And how many days did it take in total?
So it took 70 days.
70 days.
3 hours and 48 minutes. Well, set my alarm for like 7:30, procrastinate for a little bit, have some like protein bars,
Yeah.
stuff like that. And then I would start rowing so that I could see like the sunrise. Because when I say 8 o'clock, you're not really in a time zone. So I have no idea what time it actually kind of was, wherever I was. And so woke up, started rowing, see the sunrise, and then I'm like, okay, I need some chocolate. Right, I might need to run my water maker, get some like fresh water for the day. I would row till probably like 1-2 o'clock in the afternoon, and then I'd like do something, like a chore on the boat. I would start back rowing again, definitely by like 4 o'clock, because I wanted to row as the sun was setting.
I know that you spoke to Kate Middleton.
Yeah.
What was that like?
It was a bit of a whirlwind actually. So I'd finished the row. I didn't think that anybody actually cared. Like, I was just doing it because I wanted to do it.
Yeah.
And I had no idea that it was going to be massive.
But did you know setting into it that you could break a world record?
Yeah. If I could get the record, then it was a unique selling point to be able to get sponsors.
Yeah.
And other than that, I only cared for the sponsor side of it. Then once I was actually out there, like, that doesn't bother me. I'm still not bothered about it.
Yeah.
It was just easier to do something to get the money
To get people backing you.
Yeah,
and things.
basically.
Yeah, cool.
I did not expect the whirlwind that hit when I got to Antigua. I think I timed it really well because I finished on a Saturday morning.
Yeah.
So I then hit all of the press for the Sunday. So literally on Sunday, starting from like 4 a.m, I had 10 interviews literally all day, like live. It's such like crazy.
Yeah. So when did Kate Middleton get in touch?
So that was whilst I was still in Antigua.
Okay.
And it's done through like the Lord Lieutenant. We did like a prep call
cool.
and everything, and then it was like set up the next morning. But yeah, it was really, really cool. And then I got invited to a garden party at the Palace last May.
And I'd love to know who inspires you. Is there anyone in particular or anything that inspires you?
I get inspired by like the smallest things, like people that don't realise it might inspire me. There's not one person at all. I don't think. It's what everybody can do.
And how do you feel that you inspire people?
A bit strange, actually. Yeah, I don't feel like I kind of do, even though I've been told that I do.
I mean, you're superhuman, most would say.
You say that because I am very like normal at the same time.
A lot of young girls might not realise that they are capable of challenges like this. Like, you were 21 when you first did this challenge. I mean, that is so young as well. What advice would you give to other young girls and women that are thinking of doing an adventure but perhaps just think, oh my God, there's no way I could do something like that?
I would say, yes, there is a way you can do that. It is just finding the way. My advice would be to ask for help. I couldn't have done this without the help of so many people. Like, all of my sponsors, and not just sponsors that give you cash, but like some of them literally helped me out in the most amazing, like, tiny thing that they didn't realise. So I needed my boat to be towed different places. Now, I don't have a car or even a licence at that point to be able to do it.
Yeah.
So I needed somebody to help me out with that. And like the amount of people that just did that, like, it was just asking, networking. And my advice would also be, make sure that you definitely want to do it. Don't forget about like the actual goal, the end goal of something. So don't do it for any of the extra benefits that you might think.
Yeah. So have you got anything coming up?
I want to sail around the world by myself. Wow. But it's like, I had to jump in. I need to get a boat.
Yeah.
And the boats that are going to be doing this, they're really, really kind of rare. And so I just need to buy a boat straight away. I've agreed to buy one, even though I can't afford it. I don't have sponsors yet, but I need to get that in the next 2 weeks. And I'm like, but I've jumped in, and yeah, because it's something that I've got to do, and it makes you work harder. I found out about this, 7 months before I did the swim, and it was just been playing in the back of my mind, because you need to let time for ideas to grow.
Yeah, okay.
As well. It's in the back of my head, and I ignore it. I ignore it for ages and ages. And if it's still in the back of your head a year later, then you're like, yeah, I've got to do something about that.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Jasmine. It's been so great to have you on the podcast.
No,
and I can't wait for everyone to listen. And we will put all your details below, and sponsorship details and everything. And yeah, thank you so much.
No, cheers. That'll be epic.
So let's move on to products we are loving at the moment. Bea, you've always got a good one. What are you loving?
First up is the most important. So I don't know if anybody has tried the Tesco, this is so random, the Tesco cinnamon buns.
No.
Because I've gone on the hunt in London for a cinnamon bun with the cream cheese frosting.
Nice.
Nowhere does them. Like, if anybody...
No, what's that brand?
Cinnabon is shut
Buns
down.
from home.
Buns from Home.
Have they?
Yes.
And is it really, really good? Because I want like a gooey, really cinnamony, loads of cream cheese.
Well, actually, I have had the Tesco one before, and I think the Tesco one will rival this one.
Really? Because I just could not believe my eyes.
Really?
If you bung that in the microwave, put it in a bowl, and all the, I thought it was going to be kind of a bit dry and a bit, I don't know, not great, but it was so good. Like the best cinnamon bun I've had in so long, and it was from Tesco's.
Oh,
but you have to, I think, go to the big Tesco's that have like the bakeries in store, but it's so good, honestly. When I discovered it, me and my sister drove like an hour to a big Tesco's to try and find more.
Hattie, what are you loving?
Mine are quite random. So I just got back into hula hooping, like for exercise.
Oh my god.
Go with me on this. So I just got one off Amazon, and it's like a weighted one, but it's apparently really good for your abs. Like it's a really good ab
Yeah, I've heard
workout.
that.
So I
Does
just
it
do it
hurt
like in front
afterwards?
of the TV. Not really.
I mean, I'd love to be a
Like-
fly.
Oh my god, me
no,
too.
guys, I'm actually quite good at it. So my target was to do 10 minutes without stopping, and yesterday I did 14.
Oh my god, that's
So
so
my
And
target's
okay, I'm going to set you a challenge the next time you're on the podcast.
Okay.
I want to see it documented.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have to put your hands down
Oh my
and
God.
hula
Ooh.
hoop. With
I
your,
don't
rather than
know.
having your hands out, you've got to have them in.
Okay, I'm going to try that.
That's your
But yeah,
challenge.
so good. And a really fun follow on TikTok. This girl, her username is Data But Make It Fashion, and she's a software engineer, but her account is like fashion trends. So she uses stats. So she'll go on like Google search analytics and stuff,
Yeah.
and back it up with a statistic. So like 44%. There's been a 44% increase in Google searches for denim skirts or something, midi denim skirts.
cool.
And then she has like inspo and
I love
celebrity
that.
That's really
style.
cool.
It's so
Yeah, I
good.
like
Or like
that.
fashion month trends, that kind of thing. But she always adds like numbers and statistics.
Okay,
which
we'll
is
link that
really
below.
cool. Yeah,
that's really
fun.
cool.
I am loving. So I found these on TikTok. I feel like everyone knows about them now. But they're the little triangle puffs that you use for your face. Have you seen the
I've not
Trigwell-
seen these.
Trigwell puff. Literally my whole For You page. Maybe just because I love beauty, but it's been like literally.
So
So
what are they-
explain what they are.
So they're little triangles, and you like just put like your finger like that, and it's for setting your makeup. So I use it with my Laura Mercier powder, and it makes it so that you have no creases at all.
So
and,
instead
like,
of like a sponge, you
instead of a
use
sponge,
them.
or I usually just use like a big fluffy brush or something.
I love this.
And it's so good. Like,
And they
I mean,
don't take the makeup off when they do it.
No,
It's really.
and it like really makes sure that you don't get any creases or any lines. And you can see like there's videos of people doing like half their face,
Oh,
and it's
wow.
like smooth, like completely blurred, no
need to
matter what
try.
product.
Oh my god,
you
I'm gonna
use.
try. Where do you get them from?
I bought them on TikTok Shop.
Okay.
Which brings me on to my next thing is concealers, and I can't remember the brand, but we'll link them. Also on TikTok Shop, and I basically came across a video of a girl who's like similar skin tone to me, and she was like, "These are like this combo, these two colors are the perfect for my under eye circles. 'Cause I have really bad under eye circles, and they haven't come yet, but I'm really excited to use those. That's my latest
Ooh.
purchase. One more thing, I bought striped dungarees. H&M.
So nice.
Is it the
I'm
light
just
blue one in
such a-
H&M?
Yeah, I
Really
so
I think
cute.
so, but they're a bit more like wide legs. I can't do like a
Yeah,
skinny leg.
fair.
Oh
That's just
no,
not my
yeah,
own.
yeah, definitely wide.
So I'm very excited to wear them.
That's
This
excited to
really
see you in that.
exciting.
Yeah, Daisy, how about you?
Well, one thing, I was getting the bus to work this morning, walked past Cafe Nero. So this isn't, I haven't tried this, but I'm so eager to try it. They've just released cherry iced latte and a pistachio iced latte.
Oh, that's
So I'm going to give that a taste test and let you
Yeah.
know, but I feel like that's a bit of me.
yeah.
Let's
Yeah,
do
that
that on the
sounds
vlog.
really good.
Let's do that on the
Because
vlog.
I'm
Taste test.
pistachio, I'm there for that.
I have got some Peachy Den Mimi parachute pants coming,
Cute.
which I'm super
Cute.
excited
Got a
about.
pair coming too.
Thank you. What colour?
Navy.
I went for the sort of beige pair,
really
so
nice.
we'll have to twin in those.
Yeah.
Anything else I'm loving? Well, what's on my wish list are the Asics Gel Nimbus 9s. I've been thinking about them for ages.
Yeah, they're cool.
So I think I'm going to do it on the next
Yeah.
payday.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to do a bit of a Q&A. We put this box out on socials. So these are little questions that have come through. Hattie, I think you'll be great for this. How to style cowboy boots.
Oh my god. There is no wrong way to style cowboy boots.
Good, we love to hear it.
So yeah, with everything. I think
Great.
for spring summer, great with like maxi skirts or dresses, or like a floaty mini dress. I think is so cute. I've got a stories dress with like puff sleeves, and it's like a little puff skirt, and I think that looks really good. Or if you've got shorter cowboy boots with jeans. I'm not sure if I'm convinced by the tucking jeans into cowboy boots.
You've got to have long legs.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
feel like
true.
you need
Mind
the
you, you pull
right,
it off.
No,
I need the right
I
denim.
probably
Yeah.
would need longer legs.
and I just haven't found the jean to do that
I
yet.
feel like you need a skinny jean, and that's like one of
Yeah,
them.
I'm
When
not-
people pull
yeah,
that
I'm
off
not
though,
doing
it's so cool.
It can look
Like,
really,
it looks-
really cool. I just think it's harder. But I think if you want a really easy way to do it with skirts and dresses.
Okay, tips for getting over a breakup.
Time is a healer. That's
Yeah.
my tip.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that's
you
that's
think
good.
you think it's the end of the world?
Nothing's forever.
No,
But-
nothing.
And also keep yourself really busy.
Yeah.
See all your friends.
Work
yeah.
on yourself, I
Yeah,
think.
work on
Yes.
yourself. Yeah,
that'll be my
keep
tip.
busy.
What are your must-have trainers for spring?
There's a new pair of Nikes. It's the Nike P6000,
Okay.
and they've got them in
Really
yellow
nice.
and black and silver, and they look really cool.
Ooh, okay.
But the only thing is they're quite a thin sole. I'm worried that the sole's not thick enough. But I really like the colours on them, so I think they'd be quite a good one for
Okay.
spring.
I would say they're slightly on the more expensive side, but a really good investment are Axel gelatos
Yes.
for spring, summer. They'll just go with everything.
Mine, I think, I mean, it's an obvious choice, but I'm going to say the Sambas, but go for a colour that's a bit more, like, don't go for anything with black in it. Go for a very, like, muted, or even, like, a pastel-y shade. I think
I love
pinks
the
and,
pastel ones.
or the New Balance 550s, which everyone seems to hate now, but I think they're quite nice.
I really like the Onitsuka Tiger trainers. I think they're in one of your wish
Spring
lists.
wish list, the yellow ones.
I love the yellow ones, but they also do them in like an off-white with this sort of sagey accent colour, which I think is a really nice spring
Really nice.
colourway. So yeah, they're on my list.
What shoes to wear with a maxi denim skirt? I feel like they're so hot at the moment.
I really feel like you could just wear a trainer and just wear a long sock so your ankles are
That's
sticking
exactly
out.
how I
Wait,
do
so
it,
you'd wear a trainer with a longer sock?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you don't want your ankle to be sticking out.
Yeah. I mean, a cowboy boot.
boot.
Oh,
Okay.
yes.
of course.
I want to be a hot girl with savings and have money to spend on myself too. Any tips? I mean, don't we all, babe?
Oh, God.
Monzo
Yeah,
really
Monzo's
helps me. So I have my main debit account, and then I use Monzo to budget. So I transfer myself my monthly budget. Then I can see so easily on the app what I'm spending it on, like how
Monzo
much
is so
I've
good
spent.
for
So
that.
does
And
it
it reminds
categorise
you
it?
as well. Yeah, so you can add, like, if you send someone money, you can say if it's like entertainment, food, shopping, whatever. So it then tells you like halfway through the month how you're doing compared to the last month.
I think that's the main thing, is having something that it comes up every time you spend something. It comes up, because otherwise you can just tap,
clock
tap,
it,
tap,
yeah.
and it's like,
My top tip is, I probably need to get Monzo because it sounds like that's doing
so
it all
good.
for you. But I have X amount which I non-negotiable has to go into savings each month.
Yeah.
And actually, if you set it up as a direct debit, you've got no choice. It just goes straight into
Yeah.
your savings. And if you have an ISA account, you then can't get it out.
Yeah.
So that's probably quite a good tip. And I also have like an allowance on like my fun money.
Yeah,
if
yeah,
that makes
yeah.
sense.
Same.
So whether that's eating out or buying something, I only have that amount a month.
Yeah.
And sometimes I spend it straight away as soon as I've been paid, or sometimes I'll use it over the month,
Yeah.
but I don't go over that.
yeah,
That's really good. I think if you can actually stick to that, that's great.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
It's difficult, isn't it?
It's
It
so
is
hard.
difficult.
But I would say for your like long-term savings like that, I always make sure I have it in either a separate bank account or somewhere
Yeah.
where I can't easily access it.
Yeah.
'Cause otherwise
Agreed.
I'll just transfer it.
Yeah, I was
back to
going to say
myself
that
when I
my
need
top
it.
tip's the same as yours. Like, literally, the second I get paid, a chunk just has to go
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
And then
Same.
it doesn't matter then what I know that I'll always be saving.
How did you guys start working at LGSL? What did you do at uni? Should we start with
I
you,
love
Bea?
that. That's so interesting.
What's been your career path?
So I've always wanted to work. I feel really lucky that I've always known that I've wanted to work in fashion and something like arty. I studied textiles at university. I went to Chelsea College of Art, and then I left there. And then what did I do? And then I did a couple of work experience at different places, like, you know, Jaded?
Yeah.
The like festival brand. I did that, and then I did Ted Baker, and then I was working on their menswear design team, and they then hired me on the for a 3-month internship, and then I got offered a job on the women's wear dress team, and then I came here.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know that full story, so it's good to hear.
So I thought I wanted to be like a designer, and then I tried it, and I definitely don't. I much prefer doing.
So what are your tips
product.
for, you've done quite a few
yeah
work experience placements. How
I
did
think
you get
it's-
those, and what are your top tips?
So I think working experience is so important when you're at uni and you've got the time on the summer holidays. Like, make the most of it. Like, I think it helps you out. Like, I'm so grateful that I did that, because sorry, Alice, but my sister didn't, and she's now finished uni and she's like really lost. And I just think that put me. I then left and I wasn't like overwhelmed with what to do. Like, I'd had really good experience.
Sapna, what about you?
So I, like you, always wanted to do fashion, but I kind of tried to take it from like a more 360 angle and was like, I'm going to do business, because then I can have my own brand, or I can go into marketing, I can do something within fashion. So I did business management and marketing in Bristol, and then I did a placement year, which I would really recommend to people, because it kind of just guarantees that you've got a year of experience somewhere. And with that, I worked at Hackett, which is a menswear fashion brand, and I actually did PR. So I started in PR, which is almost the complete opposite side of what I do now. So that's like going out to editors and writers to get them to put your product somewhere. And now I write about the product, so it's quite a funny like way how it's turned out. But yeah, so that's how I started, and then went back to uni, did my final year, and then COVID started, so I kind of had a year of just not doing very much. Started kind of posting on Instagram a bit, writing a blog a bit, and then I did a master's, which was in fashion communication at Condé Nast College. which was really cool. And then I did a little work experience at Glamour, and then I came here.
Great.
It's really, I love this question.
Yeah. Story.
Can't believe we haven't had this
And would
discussion
you
before.
recommend masters
Well,
if you know what your sort of where you want to go, because it's quite
Yeah.
niche, quite specific.
it is, and I don't think everyone needs to do masters, but I think that if you're kind of still not sure where you want to go, or you want to just get a bit more experience and work while you're doing something, or build up a portfolio, it's quite a nice way to do it in something that's more niche.
Because it's quite an investment as well.
It is an
isn't it?
investment,
So
and to be honest, I always say that, like, I'm not gonna like tell my kids they need to go to uni. I really think that working and just getting experience, like you said, is so much more valuable. But it does help if you're not sure.
And what did your year in industry, what was that like compared to your final year at uni? Like, were you quite done by the
I was
end?
so done.
So I feel like that almost
genuinely-
accelerates you into the real world.
Yeah.
For sure, and it's really weird actually to go back to uni, and I really didn't like my final year. I was like, I wish I could just stay, but I was like, I want to finish my degree, I want to get it, so I've got to just kind of
stick it
do.
out.
But I really do recommend doing it.
And Hattie, what was your path?
Oh my gosh, mine was a bit random. So I also knew that I wanted to work in fashion, but I had quite academic A levels, so I thought that I would do something that was quite writing based, and that maybe then I would move into journalism. But I did a language degree, so I did Spanish, and then I did French for a couple of years, and I did Italian.
That is
Can
so
you speak
cool,
all
Hattie.
fluent?
I was fluent in Spanish. I'm not very good now.
Yeah.
My Italian is like holiday Italian, and so is my
Right.
French. So no.
Oh my God, that's so
It
handy.
was a really great 4 years.
That's why you go on your city breaks.
Yeah, I know. That's when I use them. I can do like vintage shopping Italian. That's what I mean.
The essentials.
Yeah. And I actually taught in a school for a year in that, which even though it wasn't relevant to what I do now, again, like going and doing experience in the real world, I think is still so invaluable. And on the side, I was always doing extracurricular things. So I think even if your degree isn't relevant, if there's something else you want to pursue, make sure you're doing something outside of it. So I was a stylist and creative director at our arts magazine, and did a lot of writing for them. And I would just like approach really small brands online and be like, can I write a blog post for you?
Yeah.
So go and ask people if you can do things for free, if you have the ability to work for free. Not everyone does. It is quite a big privilege, but I think if you have capacity to do that, go for it, because the worst you're going to get is a no, and someone
And
might say
particularly if it can be
yes.
remote, because you can build up a portfolio,
Yeah,
can't you?
sure,
So actually,
exactly.
sometimes that time and effort is really worth it in the long run.
Yeah, and you can be working somewhere else, whether it's at waitress or shops or whatever, and then do like the free work
something
when
that you want to
can,
do
and
on the
just-
side.
yeah.
And you're now a designer, so
I know.
it's
Well, I actually also started in PR. Well, it was more digital marketing. So I was more doing social media management and like influencer consulting and stuff, and then a bit of PR on the side in my first role. And then I started on the content team at SL, and I managed that team for a bit. And the design was something that I just started doing, kind of just taught myself on the job and really loved
Yeah,
it.
I always wonder that.
That's
How
so
did you
cool,
teach
Hattie.
yourself design? What
don't know, I
outside
was
of work
just
did you do it,
doing
or
it.
did you pick it up
a
from watching
bit,
other
a bit outside of work, but mainly just because also the brand here has developed so much, and there's a lot more design that we do now. When I first started, I got really lucky, I think, in that I was here when all of that was developing. So I just sort of
Grew with it.
Yeah, it grew as the brand grew, which is really cool. So
Yeah, that is really cool.
and I'm doing it every day, which is so fun.
So how long have you been here?
This summer is 5 years.
Wow.
It doesn't feel like that long. 5 years sounds like a lot.
It goes
It's
very
gone
fast.
So fast.
It's been over 3 for me, and it's just
Mine's
gone
nearly-
like
It's crazy.
I'm nearly
That.
on 3, and I'm like, where
Oh my
has that
God.
time gone?
I've been here for a year, and I feel like I've been here for like 20.
That's so funny.
Daisy,
How
how
did
about
you-
you?
Oh, yes, I forgot. I was like, next question. So I kind of fell into social media specifically, but went to university. I went to Oxford Brookes and studied business and marketing management. Was always fascinated by the business world, and I've always been quite entrepreneurial. When I was younger, I had a little basket business and all these kind of little things. So went and studied business and marketing, which I think is a really good broad subject if you're unsure what to do. It's great for the real world, and marketing is huge, and just so there's the whole analytical side of marketing as well as consumer customer side. So the Harvey Nichols depot was back in my hometown, and it was so unassuming. It was in this sort of industrial estate, and I kind of hunted it out on LinkedIn and used to go back every time I came back from university and do copywriting. So that was kind of a bit of experience / paid work that I built up over my time at uni, and that kind of gave me a bit of a taster for fashion and the whole fashion world.
Yeah.
I never really thought I'd end up in fashion, but it was clearly all aligned, kind of. So did that, and then on the side, that's when I got into socials a bit more. So we're managing a few small businesses and their social accounts. So that's another thing. If you want to go into social media marketing, I would definitely recommend reaching out to, it could be very small businesses on Instagram that you just look at their Instagram and think, oh, this is useless. I can give it a makeover, and then you can build up these portfolios of brands that you've grown.
That's such a good shout.
Finished university, managed to get an internship at Sheerluxe for a month, which I absolutely loved. There weren't really any roles available, so I went into travel PR for a bit. That was great, but realised PR wasn't really for me. A role then popped up at Sheerluxe, so I came back and have been there ever since. So that was my sort of journey into social media.
I love that everyone's journey as well is so different.
Yeah.
And there's never like a right or wrong path.
For sure.
And people tend to, I think, just like fall into it in some way.
And I
I'm
think it's I think people, there's this huge pressure, particularly coming out of university, or if you didn't go to university, that you find you will instantly find your dream job.
Yeah,
and that is really not the
agree.
case. And I think we've all had the same. We've had to
Yeah.
flit around, we've had to move industries to find that out. So
Yeah.
don't beat yourself up if you're looking at your friends and thinking, oh, they have the best job ever,
Yeah.
because actually they've had probably a real journey to get there.
Yeah.
And it's just super lucky if you
It's
fall
just
into
trial
the right
and error,
thing.
isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you know, move on if you don't feel like it's the right industry for you.
Yeah.
Don't stick around.
Yeah.
That would be my top tip.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for watching and listening, and we will see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.